Well, as parents and students gear up for the school year, teachers across this country will also be faced with a school year they've never experienced before, having to adjust their way of teaching, class lessons. Even their classroom itself is going to look and function quite differently. And of course, teachers concerned schools are not ready, facing with the unknown with their jobs has even become more complicated and challenging. Let's bring in our teacher panel today. Linda Kwan is a teacher in Vancouver. Jocelyn Hay is a French immersion teacher in Toronto. And Christine Buckler is a high school teacher in Forest, Ontario, part of the Lambton-Kent District School Board. Christine, we also want to note, is the mother of Brandon Buckler. She is a writer on CTV National News. Great to have all three of you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Linda, let's start with you first. Let's kind of give us a update since the last time you and I spoke was about a week or so ago. What has changed since then, as I know you're gearing up for the classroom this week?
Right. We had the students come in and on 2 different days, Thursday and Friday, and we gave them an orientation about health and safety. I met my classes, every one of them, in socially distanced numbers during those 2 days. And I'm now communicating with them online in Microsoft Teams. That's our platform. And we have a hybrid schedule, and we're ready to go on Monday.
You're ready to go on Monday, and you're going to be wearing several hats on Mondays. You try and juggle all of that. Christine, let's bring you.
I hope they remember whether they're remote or face-to-face. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Because they're having that flipping back and forth.
Because they've got to flip back and forth. Christine, let's bring you into the fold. You teach high school. I know when we spoke, you and I, the last time, you were grappling with how is that classroom going to look? How are you going to make it COVID safe with the potential number of students that you'll be having in the classroom?
Yes, I was. Yeah, originally thought I was going to have 2 classrooms, one for supplies and one for actual teaching. But after examining everything, realizing that I can't really teach art in a classroom that doesn't have access to water and things like that. So I had to make my original classroom work. So I basically removed lots of furniture that wasn't absolutely pertinent, removed tables, which students normally sat at, and brought in small desks and have the kids now socially distanced by a meter as much as we could. I have every last inch in my classroom is used, and not a single spot left for another student. So I'm praying it gets added.
You are at full capacity, my goodness. And I'm sensing in your voice there is that nervousness, and rightly so. Jocelyn, let's get you in on the conversation. Give us the update in terms of what your situation is. Are you ready to start back to school? I believe you start back on the 15th.
Yeah, so we start back, we're a K-5 school, so we are staggered throughout the week. So I'm scheduled on Wednesday, actually, but I will be there in the school seeing what's happening. And yeah, I'm hearing the other 2 educators, I'm sensing the same thing at our school. We were at capacity. It keeps fluctuating just because we keep getting new information from the ministry. The ministry keeps giving us new information, new things that are happening, not happening. So parents are now having to choose between 2 different options, and, they keep having to make new decisions. So I've had full capacity. I've had, just kidding, not full capacity. So yeah, it's been difficult trying just to, make sure my classroom's ready and as safe as possible for the return of all of the students, making sure they're distanced as much as we can.
Right.
I know, public health recommends 2 meters. It's just not physically possible in the classroom. So we're just doing our best, really.
So having said that, and then hearing from all 3 of you, again, that anxiety, that nervousness, that almost, putting your shoulders up saying, I think we're going to be ready. Do you think that schools should open now? Are schools ready? And again, I know that everyone, as we keep looking at where the numbers are and where they're sort of sitting right now, not in the best spot that we want them to be. Jocelyn, let's start with you first. Do you think we should be having the kids back to school now, or do we need more time?
I think we need a little bit more time just to make sure we're really prepared. I'm on a lot of social media platforms and so many teachers say the same thing, just they don't know. There's so many unanswered questions in terms of even the rehiring of custodial staff for high traffic areas. Are those going to be cleaned appropriately? Our board and our admin are doing the best that they can with what they've been given in terms of rehiring. If we're going to have the nurses in our school, we don't know. So there's just too many unanswered questions from the ministry to open just yet.
And Linda, what do you think?
Well, in our particular district, and at my level,
and you're in Vancouver.
I'm in Vancouver. I am actually quite optimistic.
Okay.
The majority of our staff, I think, are ready. Whether that there's going to be a few bumps along the way, especially in the first couple of weeks, trying to figure out the logistics, having the kids come in the right times. But because of our hybrid system, they are remote and they're also in class and they're flipping back and forth. Our maximum class size is 15, and it's just a matter of getting used to the schedules. And I think, though, that I'm optimistic, and I think we're ready. Just us. I don't know about the elementary. It's different. And I don't know about other districts.
And other districts as well. Christine, your thoughts? I know you're in an older school, and I know the last time we spoke, one of the concerns that you brought up again was that ventilation, which is very key and part of that safety, that safe school return. So what are your thoughts? Should we be holding back?
Well, I mean, based on what we've been given and what we've been told, we're as ready as we're ever going to be, because, there's really nothing more we can do in our school to make it any better than given the parameters that we have. Short of being allowed to change our class sizes to 15, which is not going to happen, I don't see it being any point in delay. There's still hiring going on. There's still, probably a need for custodians. We're not doing the dual model. Our students had to either choose to go to a virtual high school or choose to go in. I'm not responsible for both.
For both. Okay.
So my students that I have is a regular classroom, in school. If they don't feel well, then they go home or they stay home, and then I will have things posted online for them, but it's not a full school. And so we're as ready as we can be within, I think. And I mean, I'm optimistic, but a lot of it will depend on the students themselves, how well they handle this kind of schedule for a whole day. So
before I let the three of you go, before we end class here, if you will, I've got about, just under a minute left here. What is your message to your students? What do you want them to hear? So, Jocelyn, let's start with you first.
I just want my students to know that we are there for them. We are there for them mentally. We are there for them academically. And regardless of how the school looks when they get there, they're just going to be as supported as they can be by everyone in the school. And we're very excited to see them. We haven't seen them since March.
I know.
There'll be tears, but there'll be tears.
I feel you. Linda?
A kid asked me, I'm worried about my marks. What do I do? I said, no, your health is first. I'm here to take care of your health. You're learning next. Marks are way down there. So I'm very optimistic, and I'm hoping that we'll be all safe.
I hope so too. Christine, we'll give the last word to you.
I just want to tell my students that I am really looking forward to having them in the classroom, because I do miss them. In that, I the teachers, I'm there for them. All the staff at our school is very supportive. We're all there for them, and we're going to do the best we can do and try to enjoy the year. Try to not make it, try to make something good out of something bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I commend all three of you. I mean, your job has never been easy, and we know it's going to be more difficult this time around. We wish you all well, and we wish you, of course, safety as well through all of this. Linda, Christine, Jocelyn, thank you all so very much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
For having us.
You're welcome.